All right, the exhaust is on, but I have some issues with it. Good morning, everyone. Today is an exciting day because I have the car loaded up with the Valvetronic exhaust, and I'm heading to Oz Motorsports in Acton, Massachusetts to have that fitted. So here we are, guys. Shout out to Oz Motorsports. It's about to sound spicy. let's go over my very first impressions with the valves closed right now, because I'm going through a random neighborhood and I don't want to disturb anyone. So as you can tell, the valves closed is still pretty quiet. All you hear is rocks on the bottom of my car. So valves closed is definitely quiet. I'd put the volume somewhere between valves open and valves closed on the stock exhaust, so it's a little louder than stock with the valves closed, but not quite so much. But that's not really a bad thing, because, you know, it means you don't have to be a nuisance to everyone, but you can still, you know, hear your car a little bit. I will say, my complaints about the sound of this car kind of are in that 1,000 to 2,000 RPM range. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to really tell on camera, but with the valves closed in the 1,000 to 2,000 RPM range, as you might have heard in the exterior clips a second ago, sounds a little poopy, I'm not gonna lie. But I guess that's the sacrifice you make. From the inside, it's okay. Doesn't sound terrible, but yeah, valves closed at low RPMs sounds a little bit less than ideal, but it's pretty quiet from the inside. Up 37 degrees, not a check engine light. Don't scare me like that. Yep, so that was maybe a third to half throttle, and as you get higher up in the RPMs, it really develops this crazy, like, I don't know, it gets like really aggressive at the high RPMs, a lot like the stock exhaust, but just exaggerated. And I don't know if you can tell, but the tone is drastically different from a stock S55. If you're not aware, a big debate on the S55 cars is equal length or single mid-pipes. Now, for those of you who are not in the know, the reason S55s are kind of known to sound bad from factory is because the downpipes, and therefore the exhaust, is not equal on either side. The sound almost resembles two fighting 3-cylinder exhausts rather than a 6-cylinder. The single mid-pipes reduce the rasp, and the equal-length mid-pipes kind of reduce the fighting 3-cylinders and improve the tone. So most exhausts kind of pick either or. They do either equal-length or single mid-pipe, and this exhaust is the only one I know of that actually does both. So it has an equal-length spaghetti mid-pipe to even out the exhaust length that merges into a single. So that's kind of intriguing, because you would think, oh, okay, that's the best of both worlds then. And in my experience, I would generally agree. Now, as I said before, the low RPMs aren't super amazing sounding, but they're not like really awful from inside the car, as a lot of S55s tend to be. Maybe let's open the windows a little bit. Hopefully not blow out the mics for this underpass. I am in sport. That's spicy. I'll run for a little bit with them open. Nice there. You can tell between shifts there's crazy pops and bangs even just in sport. So I'm gonna assume windows down is a little too much for these mics, so I'm gonna close them. lips so aggressive. Shift, but that noise when you lift off is insane. Good God. Switching up to fourth. I can really just, you could do this whole road in probably second, honestly. No. Okay. So right at 70, which is a pretty decent cruising speed. Let's avoid that bag. Pretty decent cruising speed. I am on the gas. Basically nothing. So yeah, it's really nice, guys. I don't really have any issues with that on the highway, which is good. Okay, that's fine, I guess. Let me see if I can get you some barrier sound. God, that sounds crazy. So, overall, what are my thoughts on this exhaust? I would say if you are willing to put up with a little bit of some fitment issues, then I would say it's great. So first off, let's start here. The left-hand side exhaust sticks out more than the right-hand side, as you can see. That's adjusted all the way in, so maybe at some point I'll have to adjust these outwards more. But I mean, it's close enough. Maybe nobody will notice that but me. Now, second of all, look how close that fitment is to the diffuser. That is not by design. We actually had to Dremel the diffuser. I don't know if you can tell, but we had to Dremel the diffuser so it would actually fit without rubbing, because this right-hand side sits a lot higher than it should. Now, can I show you under here? Yeah. So, is that it? Yeah. So that exhaust hanger is not sitting low enough. So we put some washers to make it sit further down, and this is the best we could do. It really just, it doesn't sit low enough on this side. And that side, you can adjust the height with the pipe, so that was easy enough. But yeah, this right-hand side really was an issue in terms of fitment. We put the hanger as low down as possible, and we cut the diffuser, and we put washers on the exhaust hanger, and it's still really just too high, honestly. So the other thing, maybe you can tell from this angle, maybe not, muffler doesn't sit totally straight. It's not bad. I mean, you really probably wouldn't notice it from behind the car unless you were looking for it. It still looks a lot better than the giant cow udders that were there before. But yeah, so the exhaust doesn't really sit straight in the middle or over here. And over there where it's the most adjustable, we kind of had to just align it to fit the bad fitment from over here. But yeah, now, another point, you can see I have the carbon fiber exhaust tips. Now, I ordered the black exhaust tips, and I was kind of surprised to see they sent me the black exhaust tips and the carbon fiber ones. I don't know why I didn't order them, so that's cool. But it's probably a good thing they made that mistake, because the black exhaust tips are like an inch and a half longer than the carbon tips, as you can see on their website. So when I had the black exhaust tips on, they were sticking out to like here. It was a little silly. And again, that's what the tips adjusted all the way back. So if you didn't have the carbon fiber tips, then it would have stuck out way too far and looked kind of ridiculous. Now, I did hear they had a version 1 and version 2 of this exhaust, and in the version 1, the tips did stick out further than they wanted. Now, I ordered this in November. I ordered it for Black Friday. So I thought I was in the date range to get a V2, but maybe I got a V1, I don't know. It fit fine with the carbon tips, so maybe I got a version 2 that has the better tip length. Overall, Oz Motorsports did a fantastic job getting it to where it is now. It took the better part of 3 hours, so it was not super fun. And I have heard Valvetronic's customer service is pretty good considering they are in the US. However, if you are not aware, the exhausts are made in China. You can go look at Valvetronic's video that they actually just recently released a couple days ago from this video. They are designed in America and manufactured in China. My 2 cents, I guess as long as it fits and sounds good, I don't really care where it's made. But the fitment issues with this exhaust are probably due to being manufactured in China. There's always going to be some manufacturing tolerances that sometimes stack up and make something not fit well, so overall, guys, would I recommend this exhaust? I would say sure. If you're willing to put up with some potential fitment issues, it does fit on the car. but it does take a lot of fiddling, and in my case, it's still not perfect. So if you're gonna go with that, I would definitely have someone with a lift install the exhaust. Doing that on the ground, in the garage, or in your driveway would not be fun. Now, in terms of sound, I would say this exhaust is absolutely great and definitely worth it. That pretty much wraps up my thoughts on this Valvetronic exhaust for the M2 competition. If you like this video and you want to see more of this car, subscribe. I do upload videos every now and again. I'm not going to say super regularly because that would be a lie. But as I do things to this car, I upload videos on it. So anyways, guys, I will see you in the next one.